Movies, television, books, music, games, comics. Pop culture is one of the things that makes life worth living, and pop culture can be a window into your soul. Welcome to Blew My Mind, a forum for Shrink Tank contributors to share and discuss their own personal, mind-blowing pop culture experiences. I'm your host, Dr. Craig Pohlman. I'm a neurodevelopmental psychologist, Trekkie, and Yoda disciple. I'm joined by two guests, Dr. Melissa Miller.
Hello.
Melissa is an author, film producer, and therapist. She works with teens, adults, and couples. Her areas of specialties include disordered eating, weight management, body image, self-esteem, relationship difficulties, and sleep disorders. Welcome, Melissa.
Thank you.
Now, Melissa has two kids, and I had the distinct honor of coaching one of them for 2 seasons of soccer. How's Colin doing?
You wouldn't even recognize him. He plays soccer now.
No, I thought he had a lot of potential as a defender, and he was a very good listener.
My son, when poor Craig coached him, my son really likes to be the Will Ferrell of a team. He's into comic relief of the team and took it upon himself, along with Craig's son, to thoroughly entertain everyone on the field.
They're great for morale. Old Luke and Colin. Dr. Kristin Daley is here.
Hello.
Kristin is an author and therapist. Her doctorate is in health psychology, and she helps clients achieve emotional, physical, and social health. She's certified in behavioral sleep medicine and practices acceptance and commitment therapy, as well as cognitive behavioral therapy. How are you, Kristin?
I'm doing well.
We figured out that years ago, when I was in grad school and you were an undergrad, both at UNC Chapel Hill, you must have served me frozen yogurt or ice cream.
Oh, I'm absolutely sure I did. Yes. So I worked at the Yogurt Pump, which was a necessary frozen yogurt establishment at Chapel Hill. And then I graduated from the Yogurt Pump to go on to Ben & Jerry's. And I had a very stellar career there. I even got to the level of manager. So.
And I frequented both establishments on a regular basis. So thanks for being here. So let's get rolling. I really like action movies, science fiction, superhero flicks. I dig stuff about zombies and vampires, but I also love a good love story. I'm a softie. We're going to talk about romance movies and endings that blew our minds. I'm going to start us off with one of my favorite movies.
This is a story of boy meets girl.
They made a statue of us.
The boy, Tom Hansen, grew up believing that he'd never truly be happy until the day he met the one. The girl, Summer Finn, did not share this belief.
Rummaging for answers.
You should know up front, this is not a love story.
Or is it a love story? That is 500 Days of Summer, which came out in 2009. I love this movie. It's really funny. It tells the story of these two characters, Summer, of 500 Days of Summer, and Tom, and sort of their 500 days of knowing each other. And it's very funny, and it has something really profound to say about relationships when you're a young adult, and how even if you have this ideal of meeting your life partner, your soulmate, it usually doesn't work out that way, but still relationships can be very important in your life and can help you on your journey. So they both work at this card company, this like greeting card company, and Tom is an architect by training. That's what he should be doing, and yet he's sort of just killing time at this job. And during his relationship with Summer, she, without even intending to, starts to bring this side out of him. And there's this great scene where they're on a bench in Los Angeles and they're talking about architecture.
If it were you, what?
I don't know, like I'd make them notice.
How would you make them notice?
I don't know, I mean, there's a lot of different stuff you could do.
Show me. Please, I don't know anything about architecture.
You want me to draw you something?
Yeah.
I don't have any paper.
Well, use my arm. Please, I need a tattoo.
Let's see.
That's the spirit.
Talk about symbolism. I mean, he's drawing on her how he would redesign downtown Los Angeles architecturally. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, one of the things I love about that movie is the way it skips around in time, because I feel like it kind of it leaves you hanging, not really knowing what's going to happen next, because there's all of this kind of shuffle of the back and forth of relationships.
And early on, you do see, within the first 10 minutes of the movie, you see them break up. So you know that they're doomed, and yet you hope that they're not. But you see all these signs as you go back and forth in time that the relationship really doesn't have a great foundation.
But it's so amazing to watch their story as it plays out, and you can still just love them and all that they're learning, even though you know it's going to carry them in different directions.
One of the things that makes Tom fall in love with Summer is their shared tastes in music. There's that great elevator scene when and he's listening to the Smiths, and she comments on that, and he's just blown away by that. And a lot of their relationship is built on that, which isn't a great foundation. He really needs to be with someone who is more into his world of architecture, which brings us to the romantic ending. So Summer and Tom have broken up, and he goes through a lot of emotional turmoil through that, and he's kind of steeled by that experience, and he gets back into the game, and he starts searching for a job as an architect, which leads him to this encounter at an interview.
Tom had finally learned there are no miracles. There's no such thing as fate. Nothing is meant to be. He knew. He was sure of it now. Tom was...
Sorry, I just left, can I... One second.
He was pretty sure.
Hey.
You again?
Yeah, I, was just wondering if maybe after this, if, you want to get some coffee or something.
I'm sorry, I'm sort of supposed to meet someone after this.
Okay.
Sure.
What's that?
Why not?
Okay, well then I'll just, I'll wait for you.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. My name's Tom.
Nice to meet you. I'm Autumn.
One of the best final lines of any movie, he has met Autumn. So he's ready to move on from Summer, and she also is interviewing for this architecture job, and she's actually seen him around town. He's never noticed her before, but she has gone to his favorite places and looked at architecture as well.
Yeah, I think that what I love about this is the idea of like people trying to find connection through something like music. You know, I mean, how many of us had, back in my day, I can remember guys making me mixtapes and me making mixtapes for relationships and thinking that music was a sign of your inner soul, you know, but then maybe the exterior, our real authentic self is maybe not a connection. So it's kind of funny to watch him trying to make the connection with Summer and recognizing where it doesn't fit.
I think you leave this movie and why it hits you so hard is you just feel so much hope. Like hope that there's always love or connection or something really important about to happen. It was such a hopeful ending.
Absolutely blew my mind. 500 Days of Summer. Melissa, what do you have for us?
All right, so I bent the rules a little bit here because we were talking about endings of romantic movies that blew our mind, and mine is not the ending. But there's one scene in a romantic movie, it's not my favorite romantic movie, but one scene in a movie that, even when I think about, always brings me shivers, and I had to talk about it today. So my scene is from The Notebook, and I'd like to set the stage. If you haven't seen The Notebook, it's a short little novel by Nicholas Sparks, who likes to make us cry and weep and hurt when we watch his films, so I don't typically love him. But in The Notebook, it's a story set a long time ago of a very wealthy girl who falls in love when she is a teenager with a boy from the wrong side of the tracks. And they are deeply in love, and her parents are incredibly against this and work hard to separate them and keep them from having contact. So for years, Allie, the star of the film, who is Rachel McAdams, who I adore, thinks that Noah, her teenage love, has forgotten about her, didn't care about her, and after the war, falls in love with a very well-to-do, high-bred officer who her parents approve, and And this is, I want to play a scene from when he proposes to her to kind of set the stage of the tension.
Where are you going? Mama!
Stop the man. Excuse me. I'd like everyone here to know that this young lady and I are getting married.
She agreed with all her heart, but couldn't understand why at the very moment she said yes, Noah's face came to her mind.
And Noah is not the guy who just proposed to her.
That's right. Noah is her teenage young love, who is played by Ryan Gosling. The thing that I love about this movie and the tension it builds is you love all three of these characters. You love Allie, and you love this new Lon who she's engaged to, but you love the love that she had with Ryan Gosling. And so it is just this high tension. What is she going to do with her life? This is a huge decision, and she is just completely torn. So things are escalating. Right before the wedding, she sees a clip of Noah, her high school love, in the paper. And he has refinished a house that she used to dream about living in when she was younger. And she goes to see him. And the clip that blew my mind is when they are coming in off of the rain on a canoe ride together. And she finds out the truth that he didn't stop loving her. And the kiss blew my mind. Let's watch.
Why didn't you write me? Why? It wasn't over for me. I waited for you for 7 years. Now it's too late.
I wrote you 365 letters. I wrote you every day for a year.
You wrote me?
Yes. It wasn't over. It still isn't over.
It still isn't over.
Oh, I mean, it just doesn't get any more raw and powerful than that. And your heart just explodes. You're so excited that this passionate young love has lasted. It just, it's love of the ages.
Yeah, this scene makes many a list of best on-screen kisses.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get any more dramatic than that.
No, and I think sometimes when, everyday love, I think in life is not so dramatic. And so to be able to watch something like this on screen, to just have that memory of how intense love can be, it's just so fun. It's so fun to watch.
So 2 movies about young adulthood romances, and now let's go to one with Kristin that's about slightly more mature characters, just slightly.
Yeah, and maybe a lot more mature content in the sense of how they get together. So to me, I was thinking definitely about endings that blew my mind, but also frankly, the beginning of this relationship is what really blew my mind. So what we're talking about is the movie Knocked Up. And the scene that I really want to present is really when the 2 lead characters, one played by Katherine Heigl, she plays Allison, and then Seth Rogen plays a character named Ben. And this is really kind of the moment that they get to know each other.
Hi.
Oh. Hey.
Hey.
I'm naked.
Yeah.
Can we have sex?
Yes.
Nice. Oh. What time is it?
7:30.
Why the fuck are we awake? Let's go back to sleep.
I have to go to work.
Really?
Do you need to get to work or anything?
No, I'm, no work today. Oh. Do you want to get breakfast?
Okay.
So to me, this is hands down the best meeting for a relationship ever, right? You know this relationship is destined for success. And I love, in particular, the reaction that Katherine Heigl's character has to the idea that she not only has she come home with this guy who is really presented in probably one of the least attractive ways possible. But not only has she gone home with him, had sex, or gone to his home and had sex with him, but it turns out she's really nailed a really great catch because there's no work for him.
Right.
And definitely a relationship that's destined for success.
They're very relatable characters. I mean, Katherine Heigl, she's beautiful, but she's not so drop-dead gorgeous that you couldn't see her on the street. And Seth Rogen, what an everyman.
Yes.
And so this is, in this encounter and everything, it's great.
Yeah, and even within that Katherine Heigl character, throughout the movie, there is some pressure on her to look better for her role, that she's going to be in front of the camera, and the TV producers are trying to make her lose weight. So you can see that, I think that really makes her super approachable. And then what really makes this fun is all of the peripheral characters. So Seth Rogen has this just gang of really misdirected friends who Katherine Heigl eventually has to figure out how to accept. And then Katherine Heigl has a sister played by the brilliant Leslie Mann and a brother-in-law played by Paul Rudd, who just do an amazing job of of contrasting Seth's crew. And so the next scene that really drives it home, so obviously they end up being knocked up from that lovely encounter, and she has to walk him through the idea that she really thinks she's going to keep the baby, but they decide to go to the first prenatal visit together. And if you've ever had a baby, you know how uncomfortable that very first ultrasound is, and I just can't even imagine what it would be like to go through that encounter with somebody you really don't know very well.
What can I help you with today, Mr. and Mrs. Stone?
I took a home pregnancy test, and it said I was pregnant, so here we are.
Okay, let's have a look. Legs up. Nice office. Thank you. Well, you do look a lot like your sister. This is gonna be cold, and you're next. Okay, there's the cervix and the uterus. See that? That dark sac there, that's the amniotic sac. And right there in the middle is the embryo. Do you see that flicker? You know what that is? Yeah, that's a heartbeat. Yeah, it looks like you are pregnant. About 8 or 9 weeks, I'd say. Congratulations.
That's it?
Yep. Take good care of it.
So, of course, they're having this moment where this little clump of cells is going to radically change the course of their lives. And over the rest of the movie, what you see is this back and forth negotiation as this couple tries to figure out, can we make a relationship work? Why are we trying to make a relationship work that was really built on a one-night stand? And it's played off in a way that's very graceful and funny, and I think that they do an excellent job showing how we can connect authentically. And so then it ends with the really big blow your mind scene, of course, of the birth.
3, you pass the shoulders. 1 more big push. Good. Good.
I love you so much, dude. Oh my God.
Congratulations, you two. Beautiful. It's so great. You were amazing.
So they are knitting together lives that are very, very different, but it ends with an amazing bang.
We've all been there, and it's a really, really romantic ending. Great for families, great for couples. And that is all we have time for. Our stupendous audio engineer and editor is Sean Beck. Thanks to my guests, Dr. Melissa Miller and Dr. Kristin Daley. They both write regularly for Shrink Tank. Be sure to check out all of the content, including videos, quizzes, and surveys, on our website. Shrinktank.com is the place to go for all of your psychology and pop culture needs. Until next time, I'm Craig Pohlman, and this is Blew My Mind.
Shrink Tank.